Previously on HOBOTECH.
I think I'm going to put it up here and just move the brackets in, and we'll just do it that way. So I'm going to contemplate this for a minute. Greetings peeps, an update here on what's going on. I ended up having to buy some additional screws and washers and nuts because I'm going to end up using the Renogy brackets after all. It's kind of been a long road to get this all lined up and working. I do have the lines and everything drawn on the roof. I'll show you that real quick. There's the center line. Runs along the center there. Then I have where I'm going to mount the brackets already laid out. So I just used the yardstick and I measured from the center. And I also measured from the back of the panels to double check the length. You know, I just did like 28 inches or whatever from there on both sides and drew a straight line. And everything looks pretty good. Now it's still over 100 degrees. It's very miserable. Work is slow. And now it's windy. Today it decided to get really windy. So here's what the final brackets setup looks like. I put a lock nut here behind the wing nut to prevent the wing nut from accidentally spinning off over time, which, you know, it should be impossible, but I want to be safe. I got washers on these. This is all ready to go. So we're going to hook up the brackets to the bottom of this instead of hooking these brackets directly to the van. I would have to bend them. And not only would I have to bend the brackets, I have to bend them the wrong way. I have to bend them like this instead of like that. And that would just make things very difficult. Okay, here's the panel in position. You can see I've marked out where the brackets are going to be and bend them to the correct angle, because as you can tell, there's a gap there. And the only way I can solve that gap is by actually using the Renogy brackets. Okay, here we have the brackets in place. What I'm going to need to do now is use the vise to bend the brackets so that they sit flush with the roof. Yeah, not sure how I got this right the first time, but the angle is correct. Now that I got all four brackets bent properly, I'm going to use some sandpaper. I'm going to sand the surface. That's going to get the VHB tape. So just a light sanding. We got all four brackets installed, really torqued down with lock washers. So if you guys can see the sandwich, here's how I have it. And this is on both the bracket that connects to the solar panel and the bracket that connects to the mounting bracket. What we have here is a bolt with a washer, a big washer, then the bracket, another big washer, a lock washer, then the nut. And I do the same thing here. So we're ready to alcohol these and put the VHB tape on it, but first I gotta get up there in this wind and clean the spots with alcohol in preparation. Okay, I just got some 150 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna sand the areas around where I'm gonna do the brackets. There's no point in sanding and cleaning the whole roof. I'm just gonna do where the brackets are gonna be. This is why I marked them in the first place. Now I try not to erase the lines. Still make it so I can see where I need to put down the brackets, because these are already lined up and I know exactly where I need to put them. So the area inside here, inside the lines, definitely needs to be sanded a little bit. And I know I'm doing this wrong. So you guys can tell me how I'm supposed to be sanding this. But what I'm just doing is taking the oxidation off. You can see I'm taking some of it off right there. So take the oxidation off, it gives the tape a better surface to adhere to. And that's all I'm doing. There you go. I can still see the lines, so I still know where I need to put it. Repeat this process for the other three brackets. You can see I sanded all the rough stuff off of there and redid my marker so I know exactly where to put the brackets. I'm not really sure what this stuff is. I don't ever remember seeing it before. I haven't paid too much attention up front here. This could have happened over the summer. It's something that can sand off. It's really into the paint, but when I was sanding, it came right out. So it's just some kind of surface modding. I thought it was some kind of like rock chips or something, but real fine sort of blackish, bluish little dots. So yeah, I don't know. If anybody knows, I'd be interested to let me know if you've seen this before on your RV. It's only on the surfaces that don't get beat by the wind when you're driving. It just starts right here on this line. It's really weird. And then it ends right here. It doesn't go back any further. It's just in this front part. So it beats me. Anyway, we're ready for the next step, which is going to be to use some Lysol with bleach to really clean this all up, get all the dust and grime out. Okay guys, here's a couple of really important reminders I want to let you know. If you're going to repeat this and you're going to use VHB tape to mount something to the top of your RV, it's not just about the sanding and the cleaning, but you also want to make sure that it's the right temperature. It needs to be over 65 degrees Fahrenheit for VHB tape to cure. So pick a day like today where it's close to 100 degrees. This tape will cure in less than 24 hours, which means after 24 hours you can drive your vehicle again, but you can't drive it before it cures. Use 91% isopropyl alcohol. 70% has too much water in it. Use this, or use ethyl alcohol, use some kind of like almost pure alcohol to do the final prep before you put the VHB down. Now, any kind of cleaner will work. I'm just using the Clorox with bleach because it's what I have. Basically, you're just getting rid of any scum that's left in the areas that you sanded. The isopropyl alcohol is actually the real surface prep. This is the most important thing you got to do before you put the VHB tape down. So let's go ahead and do this. And make sure you use separate cloths. Do not share a cloth between this and this. It has to be separate. Otherwise, you're gonna it's gonna ruin the clean alcohol base. As you can see, it's not taking the marker off. It's not designed to take the marker off. Now the next step is to use your cleaner on your 4 brackets. A lot of people forget to clean the brackets. You have to do the same thing to the brackets that you did to the roof. I've already sanded all 4 of these brackets, but now it's time to use the cleaner. The same towels I used before, and clean them off real good. Make sure there's no grease or grime or dirt of any kind that'll contaminate that tape. So while we're waiting for the cleaner to dry, we're gonna go ahead and cut our VHB strips to size. Now these are 7-inch strips. It's VHB series 4950. You can find this on my Amazon page. Just go to hobotech.tv/Amazon and you'll find these 7-inch strips. They're kind of expensive. You get a whole bunch of them for like 30 bucks. But this is the stuff you want to use. This is what AM Solar, who is a premier installer of solar panels on RV roofs, using this tape. They use just this tape and they've never had a single failure. As long as the prep is done properly, this stuff works. So don't get any other kind. Get the 4950 series and you just cut it to whatever size. These are an inch wide and they fit exactly the brackets. So just cut them to fit the entire length of the bracket. So I'll snip it right there. Just like that. I just match it up to the other strips and do the same. Yeah, you're gonna have a couple extra short pieces left over, but this stuff is very, very handy. Lots of uses for VHB tape around the house. So cut 4 of these total, and you're ready to go. Okay, now with a new cloth, no fabric softener in these. Make sure you don't have fabric softener in your towels. Use your 91% isopropyl alcohol to clean the brackets. This stuff dries pretty quick, so you can use a lot. Be liberal with it. You just want to clean it really good. It makes a perfect surface for it to adhere to. Just do the same thing for the other 3 brackets. So while we're waiting for the isopropyl or rubbing alcohol to dry on the brackets, may as well go ahead and do the roof. So just wet your rag, clean it real good. Now you're probably going to bring up some of the permanent marker with this because this is kind of designed to erase the permanent marker. So that's all you got to do. You don't have to scrub forever. I'm going to do it a second time over here real quick while the rag is still wet. That is surface clean enough to eat off of for sure. So we're going to move the ladder to the other side, do the same thing, and then the next step you're going to see is the VHB tape being applied to the brackets. Now there's a certain way to do it, so keep watching. Now the VHB tape, I don't know if you can see this on camera, there is a side that says 3M VHB and then there's a side that's blank. The side that's blank needs to go down. It's going to, the part that doesn't have the words on it's going to attach to the van. The part with the 3M VHB label on it attaches to the bracket. The bottom one actually is a little bit wider, so when you peel it off, basically allows you to place the panel on a flat surface, scoot it around a little bit, get it where you want it, lift it up, easily peel off the bottom part and then stick it down. If you do it the other way around, you'll be grasping, trying to get your fingernail in there to take that tape off when you really don't want to touch this tape at all. Now, at this stage, if you don't have gloves like this, get gloves like this. Get some nitrile gloves. I sell them on Amazon if you want to get those particular brands. They're nice and heavy duty. I use them for everything. But any kind of gloves except your bare fingers. Do not touch this stuff with your bare fingers, you'll ruin it. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and peel off the side that has the 3M VHB label on it and set it down exactly where it needs to be. You only get to do this once. Put it on straight. Okay, so it should look like this. Now massage it in. You're basically bonding the glue to the aluminum, and you need to rub this for about a minute, nice and hard. Generate a little bit of heat. Rubbing this into the bracket, it's going to guarantee it gets into all those little microscopic nooks and crannies from your sanding. So we'll just do this for about a minute and then repeat the process for the other 3 brackets. Remember, this is the moment of truth. There's no turning back once you peel the bottom of that tape off. And watch your nose. This is the exhaust for the toilet. Just like over there, there's a marking over here, a little black mark. Tells me that I'm in a straight line. At this point, we're bang on. So now is the moment of truth. Now you do want to work quickly because the VHB tape exposed to air is a bad thing. All right, this side is live. I'm on my line. I'm on the lines there. All looks good. She's down. And now you can apply the pressure. I'll get up a little higher on the ladder for this one. And now you got to apply some pressure. You know, give them a really good push. This is their initial bonding to the surface. And I'm going to put some weight on the solar panel and let it sit overnight exposed. Do not put EternaBond on this yet. Let it sit 24 hours. Let the adhesive bond to the surfaces, especially in the sun and the heat. The heat makes it bond even faster and stronger. So having it out here in the sun is actually going to help that glue in the tape bond to the surface. So just put down as much pressure as you can. Do it on all 4 corners, and then I'm going to put some weights on each side so that overnight there'll be plenty of weight pushing down on the tape. You know, I can't think of a better use for my old Sportsman's generator than as a big paperweight. Yeah, the weight will help keep the pressure on the tape overnight, and we'll come back in 24 hours and install the EternaBond, and then we'll do the wiring and we're done. We'll show you how it works. Greetings peeps, here we are 24 hours later and we're going to check on the VHB. So there we go, it all looks pretty good. I've had this weight on here all night long. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the weight off and I'm going to test each corner or each side and make sure that everything is good. And then we're going to take this piece of sandpaper and we're going to sand around the bracket, and we're going to use some bleach cleaner, then some alcohol, and then we're going to cut our pieces of EternaBond, put the EternaBond over these brackets, and that will be the end of the mounting job. You're basically just taking off the oxidation off the fiberglass. Now remember, this is painted fiberglass. It might be different for you. As soon as we start seeing some dust coming up, that's basically good enough. And then you want to also sand the top of the bracket a little bit. That's just going to scrape it up so that the EternaBond will bond. Do the same with all the other 3 brackets. It's the same as yesterday. You're going to use your bleach or whatever cleaner you got and basically wipe all the crud and stuff around it. Again, using your same cloth as yesterday and your isopropyl alcohol. Douse the cloth, not the surface, and wipe around where you're going to put your EternaBond and wipe across the top. Don't try to get that VHB tape wet, especially with the alcohol, because alcohol will dissolve the glue. Now that our brackets have been cleaned, alcohol, sanded, everything, they're prepped and ready for EternaBond. Now you can get this EternaBond tape. I think this is 4-inch wide. Get this off of my Amazon page, which the link is in the description of this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut pieces that overlap by about 2 inches or so on each side. Now be careful with this stuff in direct sunlight because it'll get goopy really quick. So I'm going to try to work with this quickly. So basically it'll look like that. I'm going to leave this full length or full width. Back here I cut it to about 3 inches, but because this panel's up front, it's going to see a little more stress and more weather and all the other good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and leave this full length. No one's going to see it come up over the edge, but what I want to do is kind of like I did with the other side. I'm going to have it come up a little bit, up a little bit over it, like the bracket like that. So we're just going to go ahead and peel the backing off and stick this on. Like I said, you got to be quick with this stuff because it's really, really goopy already. That's exactly why I'm wearing gloves. So once you get it down, it's not coming back up again. As you can see, I just wrap it around, push all the air bubbles out, make sure the edges and there we go. There's one piece down. I'll just basically repeat this for the other 4 corners. Here she goes, moment of truth. It's the first time it's ever going up. It's taking the final locking bolt out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. What I do now is hook up the cables and we're ready. That is awesome. Check this out. That's what it looks like. This is in the summer position, so it's only about 30-degree angle, but that's exactly what I wanted. I want to see what this looks like from the ground. There we go. Now that is sweet. So now these come from this panel, these come from this panel, these come from the solar controller. And this is my 20 amp fuse. It says right there 20 amps. So we'll see what happens. It shouldn't blow. I got a couple short pieces of EternaBond here that I'll use to hold the cables down. It's easy enough to remove if for whatever reason I had to replace the cables. And there we go. There is the final product. All the wiring is working. Okay, peeps, just want to give you a little proof that this is working. You can see in the lower left corner it says 56.2 volts at 1.5 amps. Again, I am plugged into shore power. My batteries are fully topped up. And as you can see, they're at 14.9 volts right now, so they're not taking anything, but proof's in the pudding that I'm pulling in 56 volts from those 3 panels, so they are working in series. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. If you want the plans and parts list for the brackets that I made for my solar panel, check out hobotech.tv/shop. They're up there and available if you want to build these same brackets yourself. I'll give you everything you need to know, all the parts, all the measurements, everything will be available for you. If you're not a patron of the channel yet, you should consider it because patrons got to see a lot of this process step by step, day by day, long before the video came out. So if you're interested in seeing stuff, more detail and advance behind the scenes, consider joining our Patreon. Also, don't forget, I have over 400 products up on my Amazon page. Most of it is RV and van life related. Also, to let you guys know, pretty much every day somebody asks me, where can I get stickers? Where can I get a t-shirt? hobotech.tv/shop. You can get Odin merchandise, you can get HOBOTECH merchandise. We sell mugs, t-shirts, beanies, hats, all kinds of cool merch you can get there at hobotech.tv/shop. So that's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box.
By the way, I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert on VHB or solar panel installations. I'm just telling you what I know from experience. I've had these solar panels up on this roof for over 2 years, 9 seasons, through everything from below freezing to snow to hail to thunderstorms to a near miss of a tornado, 80 miles per hour on the interstate, and they're still rock solid. Go look at my update videos to see that proof. But what I'm telling you is if you follow these steps, you should have the same success that I do with these panels.
Hey, thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe, share, and like. And we'll see you guys next time. Say hi, Odin.
Randolph Feuerheim, RV Golf Guy, Joe Lazzaro, Hat.